Alright, look in the description of this YouTube video. This is the second video of a two-part video series in reference to, my name is Leslie Williams. I'm a target victim and activist concerned in the criminal expeditions of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be called gang stalking. Now, you can go to Google and type in how, let's see, what is the, well, let me just show you this first. This right here is a blog that was written by me, put online, 823, this is the title of the blog. Just Google it. 82313 Evidence of Gang Stalkers - Gang Stalking a Learning Disabled Woman to City Council Meeting San Diego. This was put in a person's blog who wrote a blog concerning this reporter being gang stalked by several different police agencies in Minnesota. She's a KSTP news reporter. Her and her husband are being gang stalked. Alright, hold on one second. Now, I don't know if she wrote this blog or if somebody wrote this blog on her behalf, but whoever did put my blog in her blog. And I'm grateful for it because, I'm smoking my cigarette here, because it not only helps her prove that gang stalking is a factual reality, okay, but it all, and what's happening to her and her husband and all the rest of the targeted individuals, but it literally, the blog itself holds undisputable evidence that I'm being gang stalked. Now, when you type the name, if you want to go back, and you might have to go back and rewind to write down the name of the blog that I just described, so as you can see identical harassment that is happening around me, concerning me inside of the San Diego City Council chamber meetings on August 23rd, 2013. Hold on one second. I just got to eat breakfast, so I'm having my after breakfast cigarette. But what I'm getting ready to do is I opened up this blog and I printed it out yesterday. I noticed it 2 days ago. Excuse me for smoking. I know it's not very flattering. Anyways, I noticed it 2 days ago, and yesterday I printed it out. And then last night when I came home, I read it. On page 3 of this blog, it appears whoever wrote it made some statements. No, wait a minute, hold it. Yeah, it's on page 3. Sorry. Now, whoever wrote this blog, I don't know if it was her or her husband or somebody who wrote this blog on her behalf. Okay. Again, her name is Jessica Mills. She's a reporter from KSTP in Minnesota. Look who's involved in the gang stalking of her. Now, I've been saying it all along that the San Diego police are 100% involved in the gang stalking of me in San Diego, and if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and type in 2/20/13 Learning Disabled Woman Catches Another Gang Stalker Admitting Center Harassed. That's right. An individual that was on a street corner, okay, that was put on a street corner to be at the street corner that I was going to be going to once I got off a bus, was engaging in organized gang stalking physical gestures. Hold on one second. Now, physical gestures is what they basically do. I'm just going to briefly explain it. In a way that they make a targeted individual feel stalked and harassed is through sensitization methods. Sensitization methods is basically where they will anchor in your mind, through your sight or your hearing, either words, phrases, sentences, physical gestures, or even sounds. And then, once it's anchored in your mind through association tactics, which is actually in psychology called classical conditioning, they classically condition you to be sensitive to certain words, phrases, physical gestures, and or sounds. And then they just use different duped community members and syndicated members, okay, to get around a target to constantly and repetitively and continuously repeat what has been anchored. Words, phrases, physical gestures, or sounds, using different people every day. This in turn makes a target feel stalked because the people they get to do it on a daily basis make sure the target notices it. As a result of the people they're getting to do it to a target deliberately and intentionally get around the target to make them notice it. And I'm about ready to prove it to you in a second. Okay. Now, what they've been doing with me for the last year and a half, including at this hiking area, I'm hiking in California. I'm saving for a mobile home. I'm trying to. The homelessness I'm in right now was directly connected to the gang stalking that occurred towards me in another state. Now, gang stalking is happening in every state in the United States, and when a targeted individual goes from one state to the next state, they are gang stalked from that state to the state they're going into. It's a nationwide syndicate. Now, to give you an illustration about how, real fast, about how it's going on in other states, you can go to Google right now and type in Mara, M-A-U-R-A, Shahan, S-C-H-E-E-N. She's in Encinitas, California target. Encinitas is in San Diego County. Now, she's got a petition online. Just do it. Go, type in Mara Shahan and gang stalking, Encinitas, California. You'll find her petition. Not only look and pay attention to what she wrote in her petition, but pay close attention to how many people signed it and who they are. Fellow targeted individuals from multiple different states. Now, there's a manifesto on the internet that you can go to, written by a manager of gang stalking on the internet right now. And you can find it by going to Google and typing in a gang stalking tech, everything you need to know. Whatever you do not understand in this manifesto, just dismiss it for now. Set it aside mentally. You will see in the manifesto that basically it states that when a targeted individual moves from one state to the next, that the syndicate that was in the state the target was in will pay off the syndicate in the state the target's going into to take over in the campaign. Now, most of the methods and tactics that are brought about against an organized stalking, gang stalking targets, they're practically identical. They might deviate just a little bit, but they're practically identical in reference to the harassment, the anchoring, the staged assaults, the police involvement, the staged events, incidences, petitioning targets in the county mental health or neighborhood area hospital psychiatric floors to discredit them. That's all over the internet. And it's even mentioned in the manifesto about how they like labeling targets as being schizophrenic, about how they trap targets in the courts. It's organized crime in the system. Police officers are mentioned in it. In fact, the manager actually flat out states that even entire police departments have been taken over by these crime syndicates. Now, this individual, who's a reporter, look at her precious soul along with her husband. Okay? They're just average people just like us. Now, I have a degree in architectural drafting. I went to school for many years for electrical engineering, for computer networking, for computer programming, and I studied the brain extensively for years and years and years because I'm learning disabled, and I wanted to be able to develop strategies so I can inhibit, okay, the effects of my learning disability in reference to my education. And it was easy for me to learn about the brain because the brain has a lot of pictorial representation in reference to the text dialogue that describes what the pictures are about. I'm right-brained, so I think in pictures. You know, dyslexic. Anyways, so the point I'm trying to make to you is that I'm educated. Okay, I will say some pretty good jobs. Right now I'm on disability. I do have a disability. It's not a bullshit diagnosis. Excuse my language. I am on disability, and they do target individuals on disability. 70% of all targeted individuals are women. Human trafficking, sexual servitude rings, and prostitution rings are a huge motivation that they have for all targeted individuals, even if you're a man. Because there's a lot of homosexuals in these sexual servitude rings. They're also into voyeurism, which is pornography. Okay? I'm feeding my birds. And basically what they're doing is tearing down targeted individuals' lives, their personal autonomy and independence. They're blacklisted from employment. They create homelessness by getting landlords and property owners on board. They will steal the rent of a target by using syndicated postal employees or postal employees who are told what to do against a targeted individual by a syndicated member who is above them, like a supervisor. That's right. To steal or delay the rent, and steal or delay any other mail that they find might be a benefit to them concerning a target's mail, or a threat to them concerning a target's mail. That's right. Now, so what I'm about ready to illustrate to you, because again, I don't know if Jessica wrote this blog, but I do know though that it was written on. It seems to definitely be written on her behalf. Excuse me. And it also appears that maybe possibly another person commented on it. But whoever wrote the blog concerning her and what's happening to her and other women in Minnesota by the same perpetrators, the police, is mentioned throughout the entire blog. Now, I have no doubt in my mind at all that what Jessica is stating is the absolute factual truth, because of the experience and educated knowledge I have concerning these expeditions. Educated knowledge is data based on facts, and experience you cannot deny. That's right. I am not mentally ill in any way, shape, or form. I am not involved in any illegal or criminal activity whatsoever, and I am not a threat to myself or others, but these are the labels that organized crime members in the system, including police officers, will attempt to put on targeted individuals in order to discredit the truth that they're telling by discrediting the truth teller, the reputation of them. That's right. Because they have to make it appear that the target's delusional in reference to what they're actually experiencing, because if they don't, then they got to answer for their role in what they're doing to aid and abet in the expedition against the target. That's right. Now, you might think to yourself, alright, well, let me backtrack a second. I'm having a cognitive reset. On the third page of this blog that I printed out yesterday, I want to show you something right now. I want you to look at this. Okay? Look at what it says. The memes are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex, which they can be. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that had the compound value of only negative meaning, which means that the compound, that means like what makes up what the voices are saying, all have negative meanings. The memes are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that have a compound value of only a negative meaning. That's right. Now, you might think to yourself, what the hell does that mean? Organized stalking and gang stalking, like I've already said in this particular video, is what they will do against a targeted individual is through classically conditioning. They will anchor a word, phrase, physical gesture, and even a sound in a target's mind by classically conditioning them to be sensitive to them, and then just use different dupe community members and syndicated members, not and or, because most of the people they're using are nothing but dupe community members. Okay, and they will even get family members and friends on board in the campaign against the target because of how they're lied to and or intimidated, threatened, and maybe even possibly bribed. That's right. Now, again, this is the blog concerning this targeted individual in Minnesota, and a statement that was made on that targeted individual's blog flat out says it. The memes are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex, like using different people. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that have the compound value of only negative meanings. Because what they're basically trying to do to a targeted individual is called menticide. Menticide means, well, let's look at some words just for a second, and then I'm going to literally show you some evidence that is undisputable black and white evidence. Now, let's look at three words right now: homicide, suicide, and menticide. Homicide is when a person gets killed by another person. Suicide is when a person kills himself. Menticide is the death of your mental faculties, who you are as a person. If you have a woman who's confident, who knows her, or even a man, that's right, because men can be gang stalked as well. It looks like her husband is being gang stalked too, because they go after spouses in order to break up the marriage so they can isolate the woman, and they'll continue to go after the man too if they ever succeed in the divorce of them two. So Jessica, if you're watching this video, I want you guys to know I love you, I care about you, what's happening to you, and I'm sincerely praying that you stay safe and get justice. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. I make these videos to inform, to expose the truth. Now, basically what they try to do is kill who you are mentally by subjecting you to negative things every day that are meant for you to take in by hearing it and seeing it. They get around me calling me crazy, weird. Then they get around and say gang stalker and or gang stalking and or gang stalk along with oh my god. Now let's look at the word oh my god. Whenever you hear, like say if you're walking down a street or at a library and you hear somebody say oh my god, your attention is going to be automatically gotten, because usually when that is said, something's going on. It can either be something good, like oh my god, glad to see you, or oh my god, what's happening? Because oh my god is an attention getter. That's right. That can have negative. It can induce fear because of the type of word it is. Oh my god. Okay. So since the brain has an innate system of fight or flight, the brain has mechanisms in it that is designed for self-preservation. So whenever you hear, oh my God, your brain automatically hears it through the unconscious perceptions. That's right. And that's their way to create a environment that could be threatening, and the brain perceives it as being threatening because you are not, the conscious awareness is not in control of the unconscious awareness. Left brain functions are our conscious awareness, where we use language to describe our environment through our perceptions. Right brain functions are our unconscious awareness. Like right now I'm talking to you, so I am unconsciously aware of what's going on around me, but I'm not consciously paying attention to it. What these individuals want to do is make your brain absorb, it basically wants to try and split your thinking, okay, in reference to what your perceptions are taking in, what your brain's taking in, to keep you physiologically reacting to it, to keep you emotionally reacting to it, mentally reacting to it, and to wear you out mentally as a result of how your mental attention is constantly being competed for by them and the dupe dummies they're using. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to show you some evidence, and this evidence is the same exact identical evidence that was caught in, let me show you again, once again real fast. This blog is the same blog that I just literally showed you about the Mimi's thing. Go back in the video if you need to, I'll just go over it one more time. The Mimi's are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex. Think about a voice that repeats itself. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that have the compound value of only negative meanings. What do you think about when you hear the word stalk or stalker or stalking? You automatically, you don't even have to think about it because that word has already been anchored in your mind to have a meaning to it. Now, same thing with the word gang. You don't have to think about what that is because as soon as you hear the word gang, you automatically think of a gang of people, a gang of criminals, a gang of dogs maybe. Okay, but you know what I'm saying. Your mind instantly goes to that meaning concerning these words: stalker, stalking, stalk, gang. So what they did was they compiled two words together that are threatening for the brain to hear in order to put the brain in a hyper-vigilant mode every time it hears it, and the body physiologically reacts to it. That's right. That's right. Because it's a name that describes crime. And if you're a victim of the crime that the name describes, and they're constantly getting around you and repeating it, then they're trying to make you mentally aware, not only that you're a victim of this crime and to taunt you about it, but they're also they're trying to basically reset your mentality about your life. That's right, your worldview about your life now, that it's no longer your own, that it is in control of victimization, of individuals who are making you a victim. They want you to feel victimized every day is what I'm saying, by repeating literally the name of the crime, along with other words that can possibly put your brain in a hyper-vigilant, mental, attentive state, like, oh my God. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, I just got done showing you page 3 of this printed out blog from an individual from another state, repeating. It says it right here, the Mimi's are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that have a compound value of only negative meanings. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. This blog, whoever wrote this blog, put my blog on here from when I was gang stalked inside the San Diego City Council meetings. It's right here, 8/23/13. Evidence of gang stalkers, gang stalking a learning disabled woman in City Council meeting in San Diego. And there's the actual blog address right there below it. Put on this woman's blog, or this blog that was made concerning this woman, who is a KSTP reporter in Minnesota, Jessica Mills. Yeah. Whoever wrote that blog put my blog in the article feature of their blog. That's right. Now, that blog is infested with evidence and videos of me being inside the City Council meeting on August 23rd, 2013, where, and audio files, the evidence was also caught on video and audio. The evidence being individuals getting around me for the whole time duration while I was there, constantly repeating, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, oh my god, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, oh my god, weird, crazy, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, oh my god. Now I just got done showing you what's in this blog concerning what another person wrote. The memes are relatively simple, but the methods are very complex. Think about a voice that repeats itself. Think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that had the compound value of only negative meaning. And what am I getting ready to show you right now? This was caught at UCSD just 4 days ago. The same exact identical method, and every single day since August 23rd up till October 18th, when this was caught at UCSD in 2 separate buildings, the same method has been utilized around me every single day. I'm just showing you this one example. Do you hear gang stalk and oh my god being said around me? This is inside UCSD Price Center on October 18th. Today's date is October 22nd, so it was just 4 or 5 days ago. Do you hear gang stalk and oh my god being said repetitively around me, back to back? Play it one more time because some traffic went by. What you're listening is for multiple different people. One will say gang stalk, the other one will say oh my god, and listen to how they repeat it. See what it says, what this person wrote? Think about a voice that repeats itself with various phrases that had the compound value of a negative meaning. Do you hear gang stalk and oh my god being said by separate people back to back? Heard it inside the Price Center at 4:30. Listen to what you hear inside of a different building on the same campus earlier in that day. I want you to listen to this. You not only hear me predicting it, but then you hear it being said right after I shut my mouth from predicting it. Listen. See if I hear gang stalk in here. Club Med, October 18, 2013. See, oh my god, with gang stalk, or gang stalk, and then oh my god. I'm sure you heard that. Now, what was put in, this occurred on October 18th. You can see the date of it right here. October 18th, that's the month, that's the date, that's the year. Okay? Now, 2 separate audio files, and it said continuously around me throughout each audio file, and that day audio files are dedicated to UCSD from audio file 30 to at least 35. Said repeatedly non-stop for the whole time duration of while I was at each place on their campus. Now this occurs towards me every single day, everywhere I go, non-stop. Now what you just heard is the evidence that's in the 8/23/2013 blog of me catching the same exact identical harassment inside of the San Diego City Council meeting chambers as I was sitting with multiple reporters. Okay? Put in a blog concerning, an individual saw that evidence online and put it in a blog concerning a reporter being gang stalked, and in that blog another person wrote about how voices are repeating varying phrases that had negative meanings. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. Now, an incident occurred at Jack in the Box. Go to YouTube right now and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Exposes Gang Stalking at Jack in the Box." That occurred at the Jack in the Box at Rosecrans and Nimitz Boulevard in San Diego County. On numerous separate occasions, the same exact method was caught on video and audio. The videos that are online are actual videos of me being in the Jack in the Box, and other videos concerning the Jack in the Box are videos of the audio files of what was caught on separate occasions at Jack in the Box. So, who in their right mind? Who in their right mind? I've already made a statement in this video file that organized stalking and gang stalking expeditions operate on the same methods and templates of behavior towards every targeted individual. Why would somebody who wrote a blog in another state think about a voice that repeats itself with varying phrases that had the compound value of only negative meanings? I have no idea who wrote that. I don't even know if this is the reporter that wrote this blog. It might have been a blog that was written about her. The poor soul. I mean, God, you know, it just burns my ass. It just burns my butt. You would not believe the lives that have been wrecked because of these expeditions. Now, the law enforcement freaks and the filthy animals downtown in San Diego, are there members in the district attorney's office and prosecutor's office that are involved in gang stalking? Well, let me just put it to you this way. When I attended that city council meeting on August 23rd, 2013, I was sitting in the front row with reporters all around me, because the reporters in the room, it was the day that they were supposedly hearing public statements to consider, and the city council, for them to hear from the public concerning the public's feelings about what they were going to do with Mayor Filner. They then left after the public spoke, which I did too. After they heard us speak, they convened and went into the back to supposedly discuss the situation, then came back out with Mayor Filner, and he resigned. Now, when they convened in the back to go discuss it, I went downstairs and had a cigarette, and then they wouldn't let me back in. That's right. But that was the actual day that he literally announced his resignation. It was all over. I mean, what happened with Mayor Filner was all over the nation. It was being talked about on Jay Leno and everything. Hang on. Now, I gotta close this up because this video is almost 29 minutes long. The point I'm trying to make is this. When I was in that San Diego City Council meeting, I was in the front row, sitting with all the reporters right next to me. The whole front row was dedicated to reporters. I looked out and got a seat. Then reporters were all on all sides of me, and a PBS reporter took a video picture of me. Or she took a snapshot of me. And that's online right now. Now, as we were waiting for the San Diego City Council to come out to start hearing the public speak, I was literally being gaslighted even by people that were in the area that was closed off, that separated the public from the San Diego City Council podium. In other words, they were individuals that worked in the system who were gaslighting the crap out of me. And they'll deny it up and down the road, call me crazy concerning it, because they got to protect their butt from legal litigation. This is criminal harassment. Psychological battery, psychological harassment, stalking. That's right. Mental cruelty. And that's not including all of the other crimes that have happened to me because of the police misconduct. I got to go. I'm in San Diego, California. Look in the description of this YouTube video, because this video is stemming from another one. All targeted individuals, look at this video, and, well, obviously you have already, but look at the description of this YouTube video, because that video was made for public awareness in reference to the general public. That's right, and targeted individuals. Thank you.